So, you're thinking about moving to Israel. It's an incredible adventure, right? Whether it's the Mediterranean coast calling your name or the ancient streets of Jerusalem. But let's be real, the logistics, the paperwork, it can feel like a huge mountain to climb. Well, in this explainer, we're going to give you the map and the climbing gear to get you to the top, breaking down everything from visas to finding your first apartment.
We've laid out this whole journey into 5 key steps. First, we're going to tackle the legal stuff, getting you the right permission to be here. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of physically moving your life across the world. After that, we'll walk you through those super important first 90 days of getting settled. Then, the fun part, diving into Israeli culture and community. And finally, we'll talk numbers, how to budget for your new life. Sound good? Let's get started.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about the absolute key that unlocks this entire move, your legal status. Trust me, getting this part right from the very beginning is going to save you so many headaches later on.
And it all starts with one fundamental question that really defines your whole experience. Are you moving to make Aliyah, or are you coming as an expat professional?
So, what's the actual difference? Well, you can think of Aliyah as a kind of homecoming path. If you have Jewish heritage, it offers a direct route to citizenship and comes with a whole package of support benefits. The B/1 visa, on the other hand, is the professional route. For that, you need a job offer from an Israeli company that's willing to sponsor you. Which one's for you? It really just depends on your personal background and your reasons for moving.
Whichever path you're on, get ready for some paperwork. And here's a huge tip that'll save you a world of trouble. You need original documents. I'm talking about your actual physical birth certificate, not a copy. And for a lot of these, you'll need something called an apostilled stamp. It's basically an official seal that proves your document is the real deal. Seriously, start gathering this stuff now. It can take a while.
And hey, here's a fairly new thing to be aware of, even if you're just planning a scouting trip first. If you're from a country that normally doesn't need a visa, like the US or most of Europe, you now need to get an electronic travel authorization, or ETA-IL, before you even get on the plane. It's a quick online application, but it's a new, crucial step you can't skip.
Okay, so your legal paperwork is in the works. Now it's time to tackle the physical side of things. How do you actually get all your stuff to Israel? And more importantly, how do you get it through customs without any major issues?
First off, let's get a key term straight. When you see Israeli customs talk about household goods, they mean the normal stuff you use in a home. Your sofa, your clothes, your books, your kitchen gadgets. What this doesn't include are things like building materials or plumbing fixtures. So if you were planning on bringing stuff for a renovation, just know it falls into a different category.
Now, one of the best perks for new immigrants, they're called olim, is the super generous duty-free allowance. As you can see here, you can bring up to 3 TVs and 3 computers per family, tax-free. For the big stuff like a fridge or a washing machine, the general rule is 1 of each. It's all designed to help you set up your new home without getting hit with a massive tax bill right away.
But not everything gets a free pass. You should probably be ready to pay some duties on things like sporting equipment, outdoor furniture, or that big gas barbecue you love. These are often seen as non-essentials, so they usually fall outside that tax-free zone. The best advice? Just declare everything and check the rules beforehand to avoid any nasty surprises at the port.
And speaking of customs, you might want to jot these 2 numbers down, MB130 and MB165. These are the main forms you'll need to clear your shipment. Knowing the specific form numbers you're looking for can make the whole bureaucratic process feel a whole lot less intimidating.
All right, you've landed, your boxes are on a boat somewhere. Now what? Welcome to the intense but also really exciting part, your first 3 months. This is when you'll be laying all the essential groundwork for your new life in Israel.
Probably your biggest job right away is finding a place to live. And your budget is going to depend heavily on where you want to be. For a standard 2-bedroom apartment in a city like Tel Aviv, you should expect to pay somewhere in the range of 7,000 to 15,000 shekels a month.
Now, if you head over to Jerusalem, that same apartment will probably be a little more affordable, maybe in the 5,000 to 10,000 shekel range. So yeah, the city you pick makes a huge difference in your monthly budget.
When you do start your apartment hunt, there are a few local quirks to know. First, and this is a big one, never sign a lease without seeing the apartment in person. Second, when you see an ad for a 3-room apartment, that means 2 bedrooms plus a living room. And finally, be ready to pay a security deposit plus your first month's rent up front. That's just standard practice here to lock down the lease. So once you have that lease, here are your next 3 big to-dos. You've got to open a local bank account. It's essential for everything. Then you need to register for healthcare, which is called Kupat Cholim, to get access to Israel's amazing medical system. And finally, start the process of converting your driver's license. Seriously, checking these 3 things off your list early will make your daily life so much easier.
Okay, with the big logistical hurdles out of the way, let's talk about the stuff that actually makes a place feel like home, diving into the culture and finding your people. You'll find pretty quickly that a lot of Israelis speak fantastic English, especially in cities and in the business world. But if you really want to feel connected, to be able to chat with the person at the corner store, understand the local news, and really build those deep friendships, learning Hebrew is a must. The government actually offers free Hebrew classes called Ulpan for new immigrants. It's probably one of the best things you can do to feel like a part of the culture.
Here's a very practical tip about daily life. Israel's climate can be tricky. If you're living on the coast in Tel Aviv, get ready for some seriously hot and humid summers. But if you drive just an hour inland to Jerusalem, the summers are hot but dry, and the winters are much cooler, with a good bit of rain. So you'll want to pack your bags accordingly.
And please remember, you do not have to do this all by yourself. There are incredible organizations like Nefesh B'Nefesh and Masa Israel that exist specifically to help people like you. They can help with everything from job workshops to social events where you can meet other people who are also just starting their new lives in Israel. They're an amazing resource.
All right, we've covered the legal side, the moving side, and the cultural side. Now for the grand finale. Let's talk about the bottom line, budgeting for your new life.
This should give you a pretty good ballpark for your main monthly expenses. As we talked about, rent's going to be your biggest cost, and it really depends on where you live. For groceries, you can probably figure on spending somewhere between 1,200 and 2,000 shekels a month for a couple of people. Obviously, your lifestyle will affect this, but it's a solid place to start your planning. And here is one last absolutely critical piece of financial advice. I cannot stress this enough. When you get a quote from a moving company, it usually just covers shipping your stuff from your old house to the port in Israel. It often does not include the local fees for unloading, customs clearance, and any taxes you might owe. You have to budget extra for these last-mile costs because they can be a significant and really unpleasant surprise if you're not ready for them. So, there you have it. We've walked through the legal maze, the shipping puzzle, those first crucial steps on the ground, and the financial reality. The how-to part of this big move should feel a lot more manageable now. The only real question left is, what is your Israeli story going to be?